Diverse Professional and Personal Contexts, presented to you by Casey Rogers. Let's first imagine. Let's imagine you are at a potluck, and you decide to bring your grandmother's apple pie. And then someone else brings dumplings, and then someone also brought tacos. Then everyone else starts to bring things, and you realize you've never heard of these or even tried them. At first, you're like, what is that? But then you realize, wow, this meal is way more interesting because everyone brought something different. That is basically culture. It's the flavors, traditions, and values we all bring to the table, literally and figuratively. Today, I am here to talk about cultural identity and how it can make school, work, and life a whole lot more exciting. Cultural identity is like your personal operating system. It's built from your language, traditions, values, and even your sense of humor. For example, in some cultures, being on time means arriving 10 minutes early with chocolates in hand for the host. In others, being on time means showing up fashionably late. Both are totally fine, but if you don't understand the difference, you might think someone's rude when really they're just following their cultural clock. Now let's focus on you. What parts of your cultural identity show up in your daily life? Maybe your family values big group celebrations. Or maybe you grew up where every birthday meant a quiet cake with just a couple people. The cool part is, when we reflect on our own identity, it helps us appreciate others. Like one of my friends grew up in a culture where silence means respect. Meanwhile, I thought silence meant something was wrong. Once I was able to learn her perspective, I stopped overthinking and started listening to her better. I like to think of it like a backpack. Everyone carries it around, filled with traditions, beliefs, and habits. My backpack is not the same as yours, but when we look inside each other's, we learn something new and maybe even take some of the things you learn and add it to your life. I grew up in lots of different places. I moved around a lot. And when I grew up in elementary school, I was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, a big city on the east part of Northern America. I learned so much. I went to a Jewish school, and I am not Jewish, but it was a big Jewish community, and I went to a Jewish school. I took traditions from them, and it has changed my life and has influenced my life. I also, after that, moved to New Mexico, where 80% of the population is Mexicans. I was able to learn more of their traditions, and it was vastly different than what I grew up with, but I was able to add some of their traditions, and it helped shape me into who I was. I was able to add the traditions I learned and experienced to the ones that I already had in my family. And it was a wonderful experience, and it has helped me appreciate others' cultures. So how do we put all that we've learned into practice? The answer is simple. With respectful and inclusive communication strategies. We need to be curious and not judgmental. And we can do this by asking questions, listening actively, and avoiding assumption. In classrooms, this might mean inviting students to share examples from their own cultures. In offices, it could mean being aware of different communication preferences. Even in families, it's all about showing respect even when traditions or beliefs differ. And the big secret to this all is, inclusion does not mean agreeing on everything. It means making space where everyone feels heard and valued. So after learning all of this, what is the takeaway? What can we learn from this? I want to go back to the potluck in the very beginning of this slideshow. That potluck is a picture of diversity. It means everyone bringing something different. And when we all put it together, the table is fuller, the flavors are richer, and the experience is better for everyone. So next time you're at the potluck of life, don't just stick to the food you already know. Try something new, ask about the recipe, and even share your own dish too. That's what culture identity is all about. Your traditions, my traditions, all of them mixing together. And when we respect and learn from each other, we don't just eat, we grow, connect, and create something way more meaningful and new.